Begins the video for test section 133018. We're in Warren County, Georgia on Interstate 20. We're about 8 miles down from the previous test section. We will need to be suggesting some repairs to the pavement markings out here. This section has got a considerable amount of distress with it. And last summer I filmed this out here on this site. What you see there is water bleeding up through a transverse joint. This is immediately upstream of the test section within the same slab. It's coming up through the crack, which obviously indicates that the crack goes all the way through the pavement and up through the joint. Right now the bleeding appears to be clear, although you can see some staining where some fines have been washed out of there just downhill, actually upstream of the test section. Similarly, you can see signs of that cracking with the staining and so on that we see there throughout the test section. What you see up there, which may look like water bleeding, isn't what it seems. It looks like it's asphalt or something. It's dark in color and reflective. There are a number of longitudinal cracks within this test section. One thing that we see throughout is on every slab, and it looks real good on the monitor at least, or at least it shows up well. I shouldn't say it looks good, but is crazing on the surface of the slabs, which is probably caused by having too much water near the surface of the mix during the finishing operation. Obviously this was not time textured. It was probably dragged with burlap to finish it. Right there at Station 1, you can see a crack there in that joint that proceeds on up, it's about 3.5 feet or so in from the edge, and it goes on up to about half of the slab length. Crack also continues from the joint on back about a similar length at about the same location relative to the edge. Since it became apparent that we weren't going to be able to make it to I-85 to do the survey on that, we thought we'd go ahead and do the detailed survey on this one and everything but faulting, and we did that last summer out here on this site. We'll let Hank and Robin do that when they come through here at the fault meter later this summer. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this as a candidate for the type of work they did elsewhere, except one thing that might be proof that the joint sealant is holding up is the fact that in this area here there is no water coming up from underneath. Now that may be due to the small amount of head from where the water is entering the pavement, but I haven't seen any real signs, and it's hard to see right now because we've got a real low angle of light into the joints to tell whether there's a whole lot of joint sealant damage or not. Frankly, like right here, I've got the same problem that you see when you try to examine a Pasco photograph. You just simply can't see the joint sealant to make any judgment as to how effective its performance underneath the concrete slab between that